what do we have here? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a box from Gridiron Studios, and I can't wait to dive into it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and open up this bad boy. Alright, what's behind door number one? Ah, this is it. Alright, let's get everything out of here. And voila. Okay guys, now, the other box, by the way, you have to stay tuned for my next upload. It is correlated to this, but technically it's different. So we're going to focus on the Hound Shadow. Now, obviously this is the bad boy itself. Pretty good in size, actually, but let's take a look at actually all the accessories this particular vehicle comes with from Gridiron Studios. So first things first is we have the missile system here. We have their newer wheels, actually. This is very similar to the wheels I already have on my Vamp and Stinger, except there's a little gray in there in the wheel well itself. So it's actually always different. Nice little touch. I like that. They actually offered this setup with the inner wheel part being red, as well as like a darker green for the Vamp. So those are some killer options you have for this bad boy. And here we have our accessories and guns and gas cans and stuff like that that go with the vehicle. So let's go ahead and let's take a seat and let's actually get everything unwrapped here. Alright, I think we all want to dive into the actual vehicle itself. So let's go ahead and get it out of this wrapping there. So here we go. Now, if I didn't mention the video already, this is actually packaged pretty well. I know in other videos I've watched the Jungle Hound packaged in an older, not an older box, but a box they were using a different like cannon for. I think a lot of people, I don't know if they were complaining, but they thought that was interesting. This was just packaged in a nice box that you saw with some squishy stuff on the bottom, so I felt like it did a pretty good job. Here we have the steering wheel, as well as the little, not necessarily shifter to shift any gears, but I think this is more for the I don't know if it's grenade launchers here or some sort of machine gun. I know with the, I'm going to say, machine gun. So that's what this here is. This is the steering wheel. Now, you might be used to a lot of these accessories if you've already watched any of the videos on the Jungle Hound, which there's plenty of, but there's not too many videos as of yet on the newer released Shadow Hound. Now, this is supposed to be pretty easy for understanding. You just kind of put this bad boy in real quick. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and pop in our little, I can call it a shifter. I don't think that's what that is. There we go, nice and in. Alright, let's talk about the vehicle itself and Gridiron Studios. Now, if you're not familiar with their products, I'm going to give you kind of a quick background on a little bit. If you are, then you just kind of be nothing new to you. So, they are a high-quality 3D printing company, small company. I think if I understood it correctly, it's Mark and his family. So there's pluses and minuses to that. And I'll probably do a separate video on that. Obviously, some of the pluses is that you have a very unique product. This is nothing like I've ever been able to purchase before. Obviously, some of the downside is, we'll kind of dive into that, is how pricey it is. Also, with that being said, because this is not injected molded, being 3D printed, you know, a lot of this is just kind of the way it looks. There's not a lot of, nothing really moves. Like the seat still, the steering wheel move, the steering wheel moves, as you could tell we put it in. But like even the suspension doesn't adjust. Now the springs do move, which that surprised me. But you know, there's no steering, the wheels can't turn, nothing like that. But I know that going into this, I kind of understand the pluses and minuses to what I'm purchasing. I think I'll do a little bit of a separate video on that. But that is Gridiron Studios for you. It's not Hasbro. It's not a big company. It's a very different product, very different experience, all the way down to the smell. If you purchase anything from Gridiron Studios, you know there is a smell. Curious if people like it or not. I think I do, probably just because it's associated with their product. But this is essentially the vehicle. If we actually look up here, this is the adapter piece that you can attach any weapon system. I got the Shadow Hound with the missile system, which we'll take a look at here momentarily. But that's sort of the short of the vehicle itself. Let's get everything else out of the packaging and get this thing assembled real quick. Okay, if you haven't watched any videos on the wheels yet, these are their 4x4 wheels. Gives any vehicle, particularly the Vamp or Stinger, a phenomenal look. But to be clear, it's plastic. This is not rubber. I think it has a great look to it. Obviously, I do kind of like the feel of the rubber tires you can get with Hasbro, but the look of these wheels are just, you can't touch them in my personal opinion. This is the hub piece that will attach to this piece back here. Now with the Vamp and Stingers, I always heated up this piece here to put it on, but since this is not a Hasbro part here, this might be able to easier just to slide right on. Okay. Usually with my other one, this was not easy to open. So, oh, this is much easier. Okay, mine was a lot harder than that, my first one. So this is the missile system. Each individual missiles pop out. The cool thing about the system actually is the effects you get from Hasbro do fit right in here. So that's really cool. You can have a nice little blast effect, or even if you just keep it, you know, partially out like that. These are the antennas. We can put them up. So that is the actual missile system. Now, there is a different option you can get. There's two shadow options, one with this missile system, the other with a machine gun. And I just basically already have what they call an upper, this being the upper. So I opted for this one, and we're going to check out both, though, don't worry. Okay, the first bag here has the gas canisters. And I believe, yes, this is the machine gun that goes in the rear. And it does actually rotate nicely. Look at that. The details, though, I got to tell you what, Gridiron Studios, the details on their weapons, man, are always just, I think, top-notch in my personal opinion. But yeah, this is going to kind of mount in the back just like that. So that's going to be nice. But I'm actually debating putting this on, and I'll explain that in my next video. Alright, we got the gas cans that just flew out. Alright, let's go ahead and put these bad boys in. Continuing right along, we have... oh, look at this. Come on. Oh. Once again, I just love, and I mean love, the details on the weapons here. Oh, it even has... does this come off? Okay, this part, I can't know why I don't remember the name of this particular part that pops down, is actually just molded in, so that actually does not move. Oh, wow, when I'm actually doing videos, I can't remember the names of parts of weapons and, you know, common sense stuff. But this is the gun itself. I'm pretty sure this mounts in the front of the vehicle, so we'll get in that momentarily. This is supposed to be the ammo strip, I guess I'll call it. Oh, this is the hinge. Okay, the hitch hinge. The hitch for the rear of the vehicle. And now we have some... I'm so glad they started doing their own headlights. So look at that. Yeah, this is going to look great. Alright, let's put these accessories to the side. I think what we really need to do is put the wheels on already. Let's see if I need to heat anything, or if this will be easy enough just to, as is. One of my tricks is, once I get both wheels on, I kind of just push it in nicely. Now, once again, I'm going to go ahead and push both in. There we go. Oh, here we go. Now we have a vehicle. Looking real nice. Okay, let's go ahead and get the rest of the accessories on here, shall we? Here, maybe. Okay, yeah, I like that. There we go. Alright, I'm pretty sure once again this goes right in here. There we go. Okay, got it. Yes, that's looking phenomenal. We're going to go ahead. And it looks like these are the same size, so we'll go ahead and... oh, Okay, that's cool. So I don't know this, but this kind of just drops into place. So I think that's pretty cool. So let me see if I can go ahead with my one hand and do this. There we go. Oh, I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. All right. I forgot I need to put my these. I recommend taking these off if you have to heat anything, because these will start to melt. So I'll put these back on real quick. Complete the look. Perfect. Now, in the rear, well, we got the little exhaust pipes over here looking nice. So I'll put the hitch on. Well, that's a nice click. I like that. Okay. Alright, so this guy I think pops right in here. And in the one picture, the desert hound they have, it looks like, hold on, let me see if I can get this a little better in frame. It looks like this ammo canister pops into here, but it almost doesn't make sense, because usually Gridiron's pretty good about this. And this is an area that I'm gonna have to, you know, deduct a point or two here, because it's not really, in the picture it's in there, but it's not really fitting in mine. And to me, these are supposed to be like tail lights almost. I know they're not lights, but I don't know. And this is a little, the gun itself isn't flimsy, but the way this is mounted in here, I'll show you guys, is if I press down, it's good. But then if I just, even a little bit, it's a little loose, but I'm not too concerned, because I got another video coming where I don't even think I want to have this attached, because they might have an accessory that goes with this to make this even already bigger than it is. Alright, but for now, I'll leave it here because it's sort of part of the setup. But this is the Shadow Hound. So let's go ahead, get some other vehicles, get some figures next to it, and let's discuss scale. Alright guys, so I got my custom built trooper here with some other Gridiron accessories, making him looking phenomenal. He's actually going to go with this particular vehicle. See, I did that on purpose, so he matches really, really well. I got my Valorverse guy back here. He kind of blends in pretty well with the red and black and gray, actually, so he fits in pretty well with this vehicle as well. But what I think we need to do is actually get a figure into the seat and see what we think. And guys, it would be a great fit. Nice little pop, I think. I have some red in here. Let's see how difficult this is. Ta-da! I think he looks pretty good in there. Once again, we'll get our guy next to him right here. Back over here. I think we got a nice, pretty good looking setup. Alright, let's go ahead. Well, I do need a passenger. We'll get to that, But I want to actually get some other vehicles. We need to swap the upper piece out real quick for the other upper to see which one we like more. Alright, let's go ahead and change the upper real quick. Tell me that doesn't look good. Yes, I think that's going to be our winner. But if I got one more upper, let's go ahead and test out the third and last option. There we go. This is the big bad boy. I've had this on my APC before I actually converted to the missile system, but this is looking real nice as well. But I think we have our winner, guys. Without further ado, here we go. Now we're going to dive into the fun part of the video. Yes, the comparison. So, here we have my Gridiron, well, all hooked up Gridiron Studio Stinger, and now of course the Shadow vamp, and I want to go ahead and get some sizes between these bad boys. Taking a look at the Stinger next to the Shadow here, they're pretty similar in size. Obviously the Shadow Hound sits much lower than the vamp Stinger. They are on basically the same wheel as I mentioned. This thing has all sorts of Gridiron Studios goodies on the Stinger. And this is the setup here, looking pretty nice next to one another. But I think one more vehicle I need to put this next to, shall we? And there is one of my big pride and joys, ladies and gentlemen, the APC Stinger. Absolutely love this bad boy next to the Shadow Hound, and I think it is just looking absolutely killer. Let's go ahead and get ready to wrap up this video. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get this video wrapped up. We didn't discuss price real quick, so it's 200 bones plus tax plus shipping. It's a lot of money for this piece. If you're familiar already with Gridiron, you realize there is certain value there if you are a Gridiron supporter. Obviously, right off the bat, I'll tell you, Gridiron's just expensive. It is what it is. There's no way around it. It being a smaller company, it being everything in-house, it's just going to be expensive. And for that case, a lot of people just aren't interested in their products, and I totally understand that and don't one bit make an argument against that. But if you're really into the hobby and you really appreciate sort of what you're getting here, like I said, there's nothing like Gridiron Studios in my personal opinion. Let me circle back to my point here. For $200, you know, easily you're talking these to make your APC, to make your Stinger, you're spending at least that in general to get that vehicle look the way that it is. So from that perspective, there is certain value here. With that being said, it is expensive. I don't keep repeating myself. It is what it is. You either see the value or you don't. I don't knock anyone either way. So once again, without argument, guys, it's expensive. This is an expensive piece of toy. But what I was trying to get at was, for me personally, Gridiron Studios takes it to the next level. I think the Stinger and Vamp are really, really cool, but I think I would have displayed it and kind of been over it, and then probably would have boxed them up, to be honest with you. But for me, with the Gridiron upgrades, it makes the Joe collecting experience for me very different. Now, some people, you know, the Stinger and the Vamp, the way it is right out of the box is so nostalgic that I get that. But for me, I didn't have those growing up, so I don't really have the nostalgic feeling. So this modern look that you get with Gridiron Studios, which is what really Classified is, just makes all the sense in the world. But make sure you guys comment below. Do you have any of the Hounds yet? What are your thoughts on it? Make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. And make sure you subscribe. I got another video coming on this vehicle because there is an add-on you don't want to miss. See you guys in my next video. Take it easy. Peace.